Good evening, students. Welcome back to our Rotary channel. We are discussing our third chapter, that is Yoga and Lifestyle. Previously, we have learned about asana as a preventive measures, then obesity, diabetes, asthma, and in this part, we are going to discuss about hypertension and back pain. So, we will move forward with our first point, that is hypertension. So, what does hypertension mean? Hypertension means increased blood pressure. It has become a worldwide health problem because a great number of people are facing through this problem. Though it is a fact that blood pressure increases with the advancement of age. But nowadays, youngsters also suffer from this problem due to the faulty lifestyle. The main function of the heart is to supply pure blood to various parts of the body through arteries. When the heart contracts, it pushes the blood through blood vessels and consequently the blood pressure increases in the arteries. This pressure is known as systolic blood pressure. It is represented by the first number. The pressure between the two heartbeats is called diastolic blood pressure. It is represented by the bottom or the second number. These two numbers of blood pressure are measured in mmHg. Unit means millimeter of mercury. The normal blood pressure of an adult is considered 120 by 80 millimeters of mercury. As person whose blood pressure readings are beyond 140 by 90 millimeter of mercury is said to be having hypertension. Hypertension can be prevented as well as cured. The next point is causes of hypertension. So what are the causes of hypertension? So the first most point that we are going to discuss, that is genetic causes, are also responsible for hypertension. Second one, unhealthy lifestyle, which we see in the youngsters, is also the cause of hypertension. Whereas the next point is obesity. We generally find the people obese at present. So that is also a cause of hypertension. And the last cause of hypertension is lack of exercise and many more. Now we are going to discuss about the asanas that are useful to reduce hypertension, in which the first asana that we are going to study is Tadasana. Tadasana is also known as palm tree pose. So the procedures that we are going to see is that we have to stand in an attention position, then lift your arms upward, stretch your hand upwards, raising it, then raise your heels upward and come on your toes. Also pull your body upward after some time. Then you have to breathe very slowly and come to your previous position by exhaling. You have to repeat this exercise at least 10 or 15 times. So the benefits of Tadasana: it stretches your whole spine, it improves blood flow, helps to focus yourself, then it also helps to improve your postures. It also strengthens your thighs, knees and ankles. It increases your flexibility too. So now who should not perform this asana? That is contraindications. This asana should not be performed by the pregnant women or the person suffering from a leg injury. The next asanas that helps in hypertension are Vajrasana, Pavanmuktasana, Ardha Chakrasana and Bhujangasana. But we have discussed it earlier, so we are not going to discuss it again. The next asana that we are going to study is Shavasana. It resembles the posture of a dead body. It requires complete relaxation of the body and mind. In procedure, you have to lie down in a supine position. Your legs should be straight, keep the arms away from the body, then leave all the limbs loose as well as relaxed. Gradually breathe in deeply, close your eyes and think that your whole body is coming loose. Feel a complete relaxation in your body. In this asana, you feel your body much lighter and you feel that your body is floating. Keep this position for 10 to 15 minutes. The benefits of this asana: it helps in reducing blood pressure, it improves concentration, memory, retention, boosts energy level and enhances productivity. So now we are going to study about the contraindications, that is who should not perform this asana. It can be done by anyone unless doctor advises them not to lie on their back. The last point that we are going to discuss in this chapter is back pain. The pain which is felt in the back usually originates from the bones, joints, muscles, nerves, etc. It may be the cervical, thoracic, or lumbar region. It may be spontaneous or it can be chronic. It can be constantly affecting one region or radiates to the part such as arms, hips, or legs. It may give a feeling of burning sensation. Sometimes numbness may be felt in the legs or arms. In fact, back pain is not only the problem of our country, but it is also prevalent all over the world. As a matter of fact, 9 out of 10 persons experiences back pain at least once in their life. That is why it is said that back pain is a common complaint or problem throughout the world. Due to this problem, the affected persons are not able to do their work smoothly or efficiently. Even there are a number of cases with the people which start absenting themselves from their work. Though it is not a serious problem, it may be painful, especially when it radiates through the arms or legs. So, back pain may result owing to a bad personal health or habits and personal risk factors such as overweight, lack of physical activities, or exercise. Excessive smoking, lack of flexibility, or undue stress on back. Back pain can be prevented as well as cured by the asanas such as Tadasana, Ardhamachandrasana, Vakrasana, Shalvasana, and Bhujangasana. Tadasana, Ardhamachandrasana, and Bhujangasana we have previously discussed, so we are not going to go in detail. So the next asana that we are going to study in detail is Vakrasana. It is also known as half spinal twist pose and is simplified from Ardhamachandrasana. So how you should do that? You have to sit down and stretch your leg straight. Fold the right leg and keep the right leg's heels touching the left leg's knee. Place your right hand behind your back and left arm over the right knee. Hold your right knee firmly. Push your right knee as far as possible and while exhaling, twist your trunk, that is your part from your chest to your lower back. Take sufficient support of the left arm. Now repeat the same procedure with the left side. Now we are going to study about the benefits of Vakrasana. It reduces abdominal fat, makes the spine, it gives support to your spine. It gives massage to the abdominal organ. It gives massage to your intestine. It improves the functions of the internal organs. Now, who cannot do this asana? Persons suffering from abdominal problems, digestion, supine, and leg injuries should not do this asana. Now, the next asana, the last asana that we are going to discuss in this chapter is Shalvasana. It is also known as grasshopper pose or lotus pose. So in this, how you can do this asana? In order to perform Shalvasana, you have to lie down in the position on your stomach. Spread the thighs backward. Hold your fist and extend your arms. Keep your fist under the thighs and then raise your legs slowly as high as you can. For the best result, hold this position for 2 or 3 minutes and then lower your legs slowly. Repeat the same action for 3 to 5 times. So what are the benefits of this asana? It improves flexibility of the spine, reduces fat, and helpful for the abdominal problems. Now who should not perform this asana? The person with spine problem should not do this asana, as well as the person suffering from knee problems should avoid this posture. So this was all about the chapter 3, Yoga and Lifestyle. We have previously sent you some important questions. You have to write down it in your notebook and go through that. So we are going to see physical education and sports for children with special needs in the next lecture. Till then, thank you.